All right, guy with the radio again, give me a second of your time, please. So, we have the Manpack, but how do we communicate with the Manpack? This is an antenna. It's literally stranded copper wire with an insulator, and this is an in-fed half wave. So these are not complicated to make. You can buy them on Amazon relatively cheap. You can see this is a fake one, no tune EED half wave, half wava antenna, right? But we have to get it in the tree. How would we do that? So I have this spool of Kevlar line. Now I'm gonna go over here and hopefully get it in the first try, and then I'll show you how we set it up. Fingers crossed we get it on the first go, but we'll see. Sweet. It's not perfect, but for the sake of showing you guys what we're gonna do, that'll work. So we'll let that kind of drag for a second, and I'll turn you here to show you where we're gonna hook in. So on my garage door, my shed door, I have this paracord with a carabiner. I'm just gonna simply hook this onto it. And that'll allow me to kind of raise and lower this where I need it. And we'll turn you back around so you can kind of see me run this up the tree. Matter of fact, I'll take you guys with me. So when we get over to the tree, right, we want this to be insulated from the tree and from the rope that we're gonna hang it from. So let me get my chest mount and I'll show you how that works. Okay, so we're back here. You see this is kind of spooled up at the end here and folded on itself. There was a couple attempts to try and get to a point where I was happy with the standing wave ratio on the antenna, but this way the two are not connected, they're not touching. We'll just throw a simple knot on here, something that we can get off easily. And then what we're gonna wanna do, we're just gonna kind of toss this out, right? And then I'm gonna grab the Kevlar bundle. We're just gonna raise it into the tree. So once it's at a height that we're happy with, you just find something to tie it off to. So it's not touching the tree, it's just running straight down here. So now we will take this and we'll connect our coax. See if you guys can see properly. And then I will show you guys testing the standing wave ratio so you can see whether we have to lower or raise this depending on where we want to communicate. So our coax is connected and we're just going to run that into the garage. Before we hook into the Manpack, we want to check the standing wave ratio. This is to ensure that power doesn't transmit back into the radio or reflect back into it, but we got to make sure it's correct. So we're spanned from 12 megahertz to 15.5. We're trying to look at 20 meter, so we'll just drag this marker and you'll see that 13.855 we're to 1.3. We want to be below 1.5, and we need to make some changes to the antenna so that it's further up to the 14 megahertz range. So let's lower the antenna. So you might not be able to tell, but if you follow the wire, we've slooped it more so we have a sharper angle on it. And if you come inside, if I want to listen to FT8, it's 14.074. I would call that good enough for just listening, 1.37 SWR. So let's get this hooked up and I'll show you what that sounds like on the radio. Okay, so we're just going to simply disconnect our coax. We'll turn our NanoVNA off. And we will pop that on. So the next thing we would want, we would plug in a laptop or Raspberry Pi or something. There's a digi-rig inside, and then we could listen to these audio sounds, right? We just hear them. But what that really is it's digital packets known as FT8. It's data modes. That's basically people communicating back and forth to each other around the globe saying, hey, I'm here. This is my signal. Or this is your signal strength, this is who I am. And they're just trying to talk to each other back and forth. Right now, we could probably have contacts in Russia, Poland, the UK, South Africa, anywhere in this part of the hemisphere. So it sounds really good. This doesn't require anything other than your knowledge, and it helps you understand how to get better with RF fundamentals and how to build antennas. I mean, I've never done it before until recently, and it's not terribly hard. Have some assistance from some friends in this community to build coax. Also not terribly difficult. It's not beautiful, but it works. You're just teaching yourself resiliency and a way that you can not have to rely on infrastructure to communicate with your loved ones if you want that. It doesn't need cell towers, it doesn't need the internet, and you don't even have to have a case like this. You could just put some rails on it, or not even, just strap it down inside. So hopefully you find this interesting. If you do, please let me know. I appreciate your support. Bye-bye.